How's it going, everybody? Welcome to my 10-minute ab challenge. I am your captain, Castillo, which will be guiding you through this torturous 10-minute ab challenge. Now, the goal of this ab challenge is for you to keep your legs above the ground for as long as possible. Now, the goal that you're reaching to beat this time to keep your legs above ground is 5 minutes. That means your legs, your feet don't touch the ground. But when you do touch the ground, that's when you transition to ground abdominal exercises. That means regular crunches, sit-ups, planks, mountain climbers, all that good stuff. So try to switch every 30 seconds. That's a pretty good time difference in between exercises, or every minute. So it totally depends upon you. But I also wanted to say thank you for your patience. I do apologize for the delay. It's been nearly a month since I've posted an ab challenge breakdown, and the farthest I got to was the part 6. But instead of just releasing different parts, I'm just releasing the whole thing. And the whole reason behind my delay of the 10-minute ab challenge release video is the fact that I was working on my instrument rating for being towards my path of becoming an airline pilot, a commercial airline pilot. So I just recently took my IRA and I passed it. I didn't immediately start studying. I took a little bit of a break because that was a large workload of a test. And as you will see in the ab challenge, there's a couple parts where it just gets really hard to hold. You're holding your legs above ground, you're holding a plank, and that can get really hard, especially as you begin the ab challenge. I mean, it's gonna start to burn. When I first started studying, it was like complete overload. There was just thousands of questions I had to go through, and there was a ton of material I had to go through, especially on the ground course. So I completed the ground course, took the written, and now I'm studying for the CFII. So I'm going to take the certified flight instrument instructor test, so that way I could be able to teach what I've learned for future students. Now, that is part of the plan. I do need my CFI, my CFII, my MEI, and then I need my multi-engine check ride, complex, aircraft, high performance, and there's just a couple of more things that I have to go through. So right now I'm just studying for the CFII written exam. Then I'm going to transition to the CFI exam. Then I'm going to take the commercial written exam. And that should get me all caught up on all of the written exams. Obviously not ATP, but so far I haven't really looked at anything farther. So I'm not too familiar with ATP regulations and how to get it yet until I get there. But I mean, I think by the end of September, early halfway September, I would have completed instrument, commercial, CFI, CFII, written tests. And I already have my private. So everything getting me closer towards moving next month. It's just moving really fast. And, let's just say you're trying out this ab challenge for the first time. I'm here to tell you this. If you continue to try to push past 5 minutes, maybe you're just making it to 5 minutes or even a minute, the fact that you were able to do that and you've never done it before, allows you to see that, you're making progress. So as long as you continue to try, put an effort every day, every week, every month, eventually you'll get towards even beating my record. I mean, honestly, the ab challenge is a great addition to your workout after doing your cardio, your weights, whatever you're doing. This is what I did at the end of my smoker camp, which was when I did Muay Thai. And I really enjoy it because it really pushes you towards seeing how far you can go. And then in a competitive environment, it definitely pushes you even further. So the first time I did this ab challenge was actually after, So I took an intro to kickboxing, and then I took intermediate kickboxing or Muay Thai, which is like orange shirt. So there's entry level, just kickboxing, that's cardio based. Then you get into, intermediate something, right? Like level 2 kickboxing Muay Thai, which is pad work, pad holding, and cardio. Then you get to level 3, which is the blue shirt training. So you're over there in advanced Muay Thai. And then afterwards you have sparring, but before sparring, we ended up actually going into an additional class, which was an additional hour. And at the end of that, we ended up doing the ab challenge. And then after that, we ended up doing sparring, smoker sparring. So it was really cool to be able to integrate all of that into a single day. And that goes to show you, the mentality of your opponent is always training harder than you, which means you may have trained this much, but you don't know how harder your opponent has trained. And it goes to the same in the commercial airline industry. I guess I really don't know. I don't have that many airline buddies, commercial airline people. I mostly just have CFIs. And what I realize is they only know as much as they know. And if they've never been in the airlines, just like I'm about to be a CFI, CFAA, and I've never been in the airlines, I'm not going to be too familiar with it. So I do have to make some airline friends, but it's not too urgent at the moment. At the moment, there's this one YouTuber. Oh man, I am so grateful that he actually pulled through his cancer treatment. I think his YouTube handle is like Fly with Trend, and I really want to give him a shout out because honestly, the way that he laid out his whole process of how he went towards the airline and the commercial industry it's just incredible. But he got there, he got the interview, I think he got hired, and then he got diagnosed with a pretty interesting a health condition, and then he battled it within the same year, and he beat it, and now he's on track toward becoming he is an airline pilot, which is beautiful. That story is incredible, but it was the fact that I came across this YouTube video that really pushed me towards really focusing on becoming an airline pilot. I mean, his story was, he sold, I don't know what he did, but I think at one point he was living in an RV with his he was living in the RV, his family was living back home, and he just really put his head down and studied, did the ground courses, took the test, did the ground courses, did the test. And he was so fast, he got everything so quick, and he really led by example because I really want to save as much on my flight training. And it's not necessarily save, it's more I want to make sure that my money is being used properly in the way that I want to learn. So recently I've been preparing, liquidating my assets so that way I could study and focus like some of the major students or instructors or teachers or people that got their advice just basically said, sit down and put your head in the books and then memorize, then understand, then apply, and then teach. So I'm going through the whole process. I'm taking the test prep. So I took the Sporty's ground course. Then I got the Shepherd Air test prep, and then I just took the written. So the way that I did it with my private license is the same process I'm doing it with every other license. My previous flight instructor, Steve Purcell, out here in Colorado, who flew a ton. And I love that instructor. I love Steve. He basically said this, Andrew, I know you're in college, but listen, those classes are going to take you forever. You're going to get all your licenses in like 4-6 years by this point. So do this. Get a ground course. At that time, it was, I think, the Gleam private pilot test prep. So I got that, and then I think I got my college commercial instrument and private test prep through Jeppesen. So I had both of them, and I took both of those test prep. And honestly, what he told me to focus on was do the ground course, take the written, come back, and then we fly. We prep for the check ride, and you're all set because you're coming in with knowledge. We sit down and we try to understand the stuff that you don't, so that way you can pass it on whatever that you miss on your written. We can tackle it on your oral. And man, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get past my first oral. I was so nervous. She was like, you know what? You know, but you're not confident. So come back when you're not so nervous, and then you can give me the right answer instead of all the answers. And I was like, okay, great. So after the second round, we got it through. We booked it in a week, and boom, knocked it out in like 43 hours or 42 hours. That was my private. So I'm really close. I'm really excited. Honestly, my instrument rating exam score really motivated me and gave me a huge lift. And, I should have just jumped on the CFII course right after passing that test, but I wanted a break and now I'm paying for it. But, this test prep's coming good after the CFII, then it's the CFI, then it's the commercial, and then it's just flying and prepping for the check rides because I have 24 months to get all of my endorsements, licenses before they expire, and then I have to take the test all over again, and I don't want to do that. So thank you so much. Guess what? You made it. You made it to the 10-minute app challenge. You should be stretching after 10 minutes or the last 30 seconds. Do a cobra. Upward facing dog or something, that little scorpion thing that puts, back up. Your knees are down,